Hey, what's up, Street Gods? This is Eric from the Eric Street Photography Blog. So it's another beautiful day here in Ciudad de Mexico, Mexico City. Wish you were here with me. If you've never been here, please come. It's amazing. So I wanted to do a quick video with you, sharing some thoughts about gratitude and photography. So this is what I've been thinking. Ultimately, the photographer is a philosopher. The type of photos that you shoot and the type of photos you make are a reflection of how you see the world and what you want to express as a photographer, as an individual. So a basic thing is, I think we photographers should be grateful towards life and being alive, and to express our gratitude towards life. Now, I think all of us, to a certain degree, are grateful for being alive, except unless you're like a severe nihilist pessimist, where you're like Arthur Schopenhauer, you're like, I wish I was never born in the first place, which is a little bit unfortunate. I think that we should strive to express our gratitude towards being alive, towards life itself, and also those in the world that we are grateful towards through our photos. So let me give you a practical example. The main reason why I make photos of Cindy and I'm pursuing the Cindy project is the more important thing is that I love Cindy and I want to express my deep gratitude towards her and my love towards her, and photography is a way to express that. Now, the order matters, because maybe some people might think, oh, by Eric photographing Cindy, he loves her more. No, I don't think that's the case. I already loved Cindy deeply, and therefore, as a consequence of that, I photograph her to express my love for her in the first place. And I think this is a very interesting idea, because it could express to street photography as well. When you shoot street photography, or when you photograph strangers, or you photograph the world around you, ask yourself, what is it exactly you're trying to express? Are you trying to like photograph people like, wow, these people are weird and different, and let's kind of like, you know, show the world how weird some people are? Or is it more like, wow, I have deep compassion, empathy, and love, or interest or respect for these individuals, and I want to portray that through my photographs? And so I feel that before you even shoot photos, it's important to think about your intentions. I mean, obviously, you know, you could be the wisest person in the world, but you might not always achieve 100% self-realization in terms of your motives of shooting photos. I don't think anyone really can, but I still think it's worthwhile to pursue our personal intentions and motives. So for example, I like people, I like talking to people, and I love the joy of being alive, and I like joy. So even in my photography, I think I want to photograph more joyful people, more joyful moments, and to show more joy in the world. Now, I think this is the funny thing, is that like I've been thinking a lot about photographers, street photographers, and art world in general. Most people are actually quite miserable, and I think they use the camera as almost like a weapon to get back at society or get back at people, and therefore their photos aren't a gratitudes of life. Their photos are an expression of their own dissatisfaction, their own pessimism, or their own hatred of themselves. So I think that that's why it's really important to think about your own personal motives. I mean, like, ultimately, if that's the point of your photography, you know, obviously it's a free world, you could do whatever you want. But if you're watching this, I assume that, you know, you're kind of a loving, joyful, good-hearted person, and therefore I encourage you to make happier photos, to make more joyful photos, for you to really think, you know, am I making photos that are showing my gratitude towards life and other people, or am I doing it as a reflection of just how miserable I'm feeling? So I think that motives are really important. So as a practical thought, the next time you're out, you know, shooting photos or whatever, or just thinking about photography and art, think about, what is it that you want to express through your photos? And are you grateful for being alive? And to what degree are you grateful for being alive? Some people are like, oh, you know, I was born, I couldn't really help it, that's whatever. Some people are like, oh, you know, I'm grateful for being alive. And some people who are like super uberly grateful for life and the world around them, people like me. And I almost cannot express my gratitude towards life or being alive in words. And so that's why I make these videos, that's why I write, that's why I shoot photos and make photos and videos and whatever it may be. So perhaps if you want to be a more productive, prolific, creative, inspired photographer, try to maybe think more about the philosophy underlying it. Seek to actually improve your life, to live a better, to essentially, it's more important to live a good life than to be a good photographer. And I think the best way to become a better photographer is to essentially live a better life. So even for myself, living here in Mexico City, where cost of living is relatively affordable for me, and I'm away from all all these distractions from back home, and it's been really nice for me because I could think, I could reflect, I could meditate, I could create more. And so for me, putting myself in a more ideal living situation has helped me become more creative. And so perhaps the same with you, is that like if you have a job that you totally hate, it might be good for your life and your own sanity to quit that job, or to switch jobs, or even I cannot dictate your life for you, but for me, certainly I prefer living in Mexico City than living in, let's say, a super expensive place like San Francisco or New York. And even I was very productive when living in Vietnam, so I was obviously a lot more happy and more productive there. So prioritize your own personal happiness, prioritize your own personal creative productivity by changing the circumstances of your life to create the most ideal living situation for yourself. And then I think the artwork and whatever will come as a consequence of that. So what are your personal thoughts in terms of like, what are you trying to express through your photography? Would you say you're a more optimistic photographer? Are you a more pessimistic photographer? Obviously there's no right or wrong here. It's just be truthful, be authentic, say what's really on your mind. So leave a comment, feel free to leave a comment down below. My motive of photography is to express or I photograph too because of So for me, what do I want to express in photography? I want to express my gratitude of the world, of society, of people, and I want to show the world as a more positive place and a more loving place. That's why I want to do it with the photography. Love to hear your own opinion. Leave a comment down below, and let us all strive to become the most creative, prolific, thriving photographers, artists, visual artists, philosophers as we can, and dare to be brave. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Peace out.